The best build in 2023 for corrupted dungeons in Albion Online, in my opinion, is a one-handed curse staff build. You have the one-handed curse staff. Make sure you get a tier 5 one so that you have the curse tar. Then use armor piercer and death curse. I'm just using the Bane passive. You might have to use energetic though. I'm just using a 4.1 mage cal for more damage against bosses. The cleric robe will save your life when you take lots of AoE damage from bosses and increase your damage. I'm just using any kind of plate boot for the rejuvenating sprint. That is what I use so that I can run between mob packs and heal. I'm using a cabbage soup so that I can heal between pulls, and just a torch because it's the cheapest thing that I can wear, with a flat cape, not even a fancy cape, no potions, and just a simple bag. So let's show you how the build works. As soon as you enter the corrupted dungeon, we're going to locate the bosses. Here's boss number 1, boss number 2, and boss number 3. This is the end boss. So what we want to do is we want to clear the bosses and chart a line to each boss, with this one being the last one, because the final boss is nowhere near the other bosses. We will do that one last. All you have to do is puddle the monsters as you run. For the weaker monsters, just let them sit in the puddle while doing some auto attacks and they'll die really quick. For the bigger monsters, we want to make sure that everything is in the puddle, and the big guy, we want to use our death curse and our beam on him, and he will take severe damage, going down pretty quick. Now, I haven't eaten my cabbage soup yet, but watch my health after I eat my cabbage soup. My health is now regenerating at an alarmingly fast rate. So, in between pulls, I should recover all of my HP. Also, make sure you smash these chests, especially in Stalker and above, because they do drop some nice treasure every once in a while. And I'm just going to clear a line just all the way to the bosses and kill the bosses. And the rest of the video is just me showing off how I play the build. Essentially, we're just going to puddle everything. And of course, if we are invaded, you can choose to fight with this build. It is a one-handed curse staff, so they're very powerful in PvP, but they're also easily countered. That's another thing, too. The one-handed curse staff, it's like this entire game mode is rock, paper, scissors. So if you want, you can try to fight, you can inspect your opponent, run away, and break crystals. It's up to you. My recommendation for maximizing your silver per hour is to simply just run away. Just don't flag up at the start of the dungeon, and just kill mobs and kill bosses as if it were a regular dungeon, and you'll earn far more loot that way. Now, what I like to do is I like to pre-death curse the big mobs, and then throw a puddle under them, and by the time the curse explodes, they will have 4 stacks, which allows you to deal tons of damage. I also do this on the bosses. I'll pre-cast poison as well. This is changing to a fire breath in the future, though, and it's still fine. The fire breath would actually make our clear speed even faster than it currently is. So the way you fight bosses is you just keep moving. You can throw out some auto attacks, throw out some puddle spells if you want, and just throw out your death curse whenever it's available, and then throw out your laser beam, your W spell whenever it is available, and the bosses will die very quick, very easily. You don't have to do any kind of brain power or thinking or strategy. You just cast the spell when it's off cooldown. That's all there is to it, and then collect the loot. It's really that simple, and I don't have premium right now, so my loot kind of sucks. But sometimes you do get good stuff. You can use your boots in between mob pulls if you want to run the dungeon a little faster. On average, the clear speed for this build is around 6 to 7 minutes per dungeon. So you could do 4 of these before having to eat another food if you want. It's just an all-around very powerful build. It shreds armor on your targets, meaning that you take massive damage from your curse stacks. It allows you to attack while moving. You can attack while focusing other enemies. So yeah, it's just a great build. It's super cheap. Let me talk about how cheap this build is. I'm using a mule as my mount, and my equipment is 30,000 silver. That's all this build costs. So if I die, I don't lose anything, honestly. I'm just the silver I'm picking up off the ground is going to cover the cost of the build. And just looting a few of these silver bags off of bosses is, again, it's going to cover the cost of the build. So even if I don't make it out with any loot, I'm not going to go into the red, so to speak, while using this build. You're going to notice a lot of people might be using very expensive builds. So if you do choose to fight and they don't have a hard counter to your death curse, it's an automatic win. And it's an automatic win only spending 30,000 silver on your kit. Yes, there are ways to make this build clear slightly faster, but that would push the cost of the build into the hundreds of thousands of silver, which we don't honestly need to do at all. It's it's honest. There's like really no point to it. You just spend 30,000 silver and you're good to go. And if you spend 200,000 silver, yeah, you're still good to go. And you're only clearing maybe like 20 seconds faster. I mean, 20 seconds to me is not worth several 100,000 silver. So there we go. Like essentially this chest and then the other one it's already paid for our set. So if we wanted to leave after this dungeon, we would, you know, be in the green, so to speak. But you don't have to. There's no point. Curse stack the death curse the target, put a puddle under him, he's basically dead. I don't even have to pay attention, I don't have to auto attack him, I don't even need to loot his silver. And you can also use your mage cowl on the mobs if you want to kill them even faster. You can even use your laser to kill them faster. He's going to die to the curse stack. I don't have to keep fighting him if I don't want to. So we just put a puddle under these two guys, and they're going to essentially melt on the puddle. We'll put a second puddle. We'll start attacking. Oops, I actually messed up. I was going to death curse this melee target here, but it's whatever. Even without the death curse, these bigger, beefier targets still die very quickly, because once you stack them up to 4 curses, they take hundreds of damage. And look at that, we've already... Oh, I'm being invaded, so I'm going to switch my kit here just in case to the first Q spell and the Desecrate spell. And then I'm also going to change my boots to Wanderlust, and now I'm just going to break crystals, because I don't care about fighting, I don't need to fight at all. And breaking the crystals will reveal my position, and, you know, that's just how it happens, okay? That's just how it is, but I can just curse the crystals. You don't want to walk too far away from the crystals before they break, because they will reset their HP. So the killer, or the invader, knows that we're going to take this path for that and that crystal. And there's plenty of trap bats along the way. The only way I might die if it's a really strong build, but I should have the mobile advantage. I might even try to fight them depending on what the build is. You know? And I can apply more pressure by breaking at least 2 crystals, because that will try to... That'll make the killer want to hasten his pursuit against me, so to speak. Okay, so he's actually over here. And he's going this way. So what this means is I'm just gonna cut through here and go immediately for that crystal. Nope, he's cutting. He had the same idea. His name is QQ Clown. Well, guess what? I can just run away. I'm not in PvP combat, so I'm going to fully heal from the bombs. I also run faster than him. I'm going to be able to reach that 3rd crystal before he can, because he chose to cut through as well. There's no way he's looping around. If he does, well, I have my run in 30 seconds. I have a route. I have so many options. So there we go. And this is a small setback for your farming per hour. Okay, breaking crystals, yes, it does slow you down. But hey, look, we're near the boss. It didn't really slow us down that much. We just have to go back down here and kill this other boss. It's totally fine. Let's switch our skills back now. And I'm going to go ahead and smash this chest while we wait on our cooldowns. Simple as. Now, yes, I totally could have fought that guy, but he's probably in a cheap set just like me. He's probably in one of the meta sets, which allows him to, well, basically kill most targets. Okay, so I don't like playing the meta. The meta, when you play a meta build, it takes so much longer to clear the dungeon. It's not worth the time for me. And I'm just going to kill the boss using all my cooldowns. I don't actually have rejuvenating sprint on my boots right now because I forgot to switch them back. So I do need to be a little careful when fighting the boss and not get hit by too many of his spells. You could afford to make a few mistakes without the boss being able to basically kill you. So we're going to be extra adamant on dodging these attacks here. And the great thing about this build too is that the puddle is doing all the work for us. The puddle gives him the 4 stacks, it constantly resets, and the death curse, it's going to go off while we're avoiding attacks. So it makes these fights a cinch, an absolute breeze. I'm able to deal damage while moving away from his attacks, which means we always win in the end. Like, the puddle just melts him. He's got 4 curse stacks, there we go. Alright, and we got a purple chest there with 42,000, so, you know, let's go get that last boss down here. I'm going to go ahead and use Wanderlust just to get there faster. Now, I normally put Rejuvenating Sprint so I can heal between pulls. Let's avoid this guy, he's going to yoink me. Try to, well, I got hit by the... I got hit by the trap there, so... What I need to do now is exit combat, or I can just take the 5% durability hit. It's fine. But if I move into this corner, the cabbage soup should heal me up nice and good. There it is. Switch to rejuvenating sprint now. And let's heal up a bit more before that guy stabs us in the back. That way, the boss fight's just that much easier. Because he'll de-aggro. We won't really get time to regenerate, but we will be able to hit this boss here with our 4 stacks of Death Curse. And, or I'm sorry, 4 stacks of Curse and a 4-stack Death Curse. For those that don't know, the Death Curse deals more damage the more stacks he has. And the puddle, essentially is, like, as long as they're standing in the puddle, they get 4 curse stacks. And also, when you shred their armor with your laser beam, they take more damage per second every time that curse ticks. So the boss is just brainless. Now this is a tome chest. I normally don't loot these, but I'll loot it this time. And now, normally people will run all the way back here to enter the next portal. Just push A and go to next dungeon, and it's that easy. So there you go. Now, because we were invaded, it did take 11 minutes to clear that floor instead of the 6 to 7, but it's fine. So let's take a look now. We have a boss here, and a boss here. So the end boss is there. So what I want to do is clear my way to this boss and that boss. Run back here, kill this, and then we're out. Otherwise, I could just go that way, but it involves backtracking, so I don't want to do that. So we're gonna go this way. If it's a single target, I death curse him and put a puddle under him. He's dead. I don't have to stop. I don't have to pay attention to him. He's done. See, I can keep moving. This build is amazing for that. Also, if you encounter like a 3 pile or a 2 pile of mobs, you can kind of, you know, go over here and curse them if you want. It just makes things a little bit more simple. Now for this fight, I usually just blow my shield so that I can hit them with really hard hitting curse stacks. And this is where the puddle, or I'm sorry, the rejuvenating sprint comes in. Because I can just run here, pop that dog with the explodey bat. And yeah, we're just moving along nice and swiftly here. 2 puddles are to do them in. Curse stack this guy, or death curse that guy. You can see I'm engaging multiple targets at once here with my abilities, and it just makes the clear speed that much faster. That dog with 3 stacks will die. I don't have to pay attention to him anymore. Go ahead and laser that guy. We'll get this guy involved. Now, my health is dropping a little bit low. I still have those boots. Death curse on him. Let's get them to 4 stacks. And I do want to exit combat after this guy. Just kind of take a small breather, let my health regenerate with the cabbage soup before I engage this 3-pack over here. Because these guys, what happens is this guy's going to jump at me, so he's going to avoid the initial curse puddle. And that's fine, because we're just going to armor shred him. The caster's already down. I can death curse him here. I can stand in the middle of that. It's fine. He's going to blow up from the death curse any second now. Only had 2 stacks, so he didn't go down. But our rejuvenating sprint will make this slightly easier. Let's go ahead and poison that dude. Hit the silence bat or the sleepy bat. Wake up the doggos. It's going to be asleep in the purple mist. Take those 2 guys out, and we're making our way to the first boss now. Puddle the chest so that it drops, but also let's death curse the big guy. And also, interesting enough, sometimes when you break chests, the loot drops at your feet, and not so much where the chest is. I don't really know why that's the case. Either way, very simple. You can also use your death laser on these hellhounds, or just poison them like I just did there, though it will slow down your boss killing speed, and we are approaching a boss pretty soon here. Alright, that's a triple melee. Now he's going to jump. I'm going to wait for the jump this time, that way I can puddle all 3 at once. Laser all 3 at once, and 1 more puddle will take them out. I could cleric robe here. I don't really need to, because they're going to die before they get my HP down, but it's whatever. So we will puddle this dog, make sure he gets those 3 stacks, and run forward. Alright, let's go ahead and start the boss fight here. Make sure that we keep him in the puddle. I did move him out of the... Nope. Okay, I got him in at the last second. We're good. Go ahead and poison him. Hit him with those auto attacks. Very simple. Move out of the way of his spells. Not that they're dangerous. Give him another death curse. Hit him with another armor shredding death laser beam. It's really not a death laser. It's just called armor piercer. It's kind of weird. At least put laser in the name, guys. We got him up to 4 stacks once again. I like to kind of kite him near the chest so that I can loot the chest as soon as he dies. Not a big chest. Not a lot of good chests today, but we're going to make our way on this back line, and what's going to happen is, before we even get to the second boss, we will have completed the 500 required infamy points to unlock the big boss, which, when that happens, if we're not invaded at the exact same time, then we don't have a worry of getting invaded. So we just want to complete this as fast as possible. I'm going to go ahead and actually curse puddle the chest because it has more HP than the dogs, and I can loot while the dogs die. It's just simple. Puddle into laser beam, and then those guys should melt. Check them out. They're melting. They got 4 stacks on them, so they will die. But if I walk too far away, they will reset their health before they die, which is not good. So you gotta hang out for a bit, or just puddle them again. It's fine. There's another 3-stack mobs coming up. I want to make sure that I'm healed enough. Let's go. Go ahead and throw the puddle down. Hit them with the laser. Hit them with the shield. Hit them with the second puddle, and they're toast. And there we go. Boss unlocked. We can't be invaded as long as we weren't invaded during the boss unlocking process. We're all set. I'm gonna heal up a bit before I run past some mobs, because we can just skip to bosses now. It's boss mode time. We don't need to kill these mobs anymore. There's no point. If we kill any with a trap, that's just bonus points. None of these guys can yoink me. It's fine. We're going to heal in between running away from mobs. You can step in a purple bat, too, to sleep things. Now, this is a little bit troublesome, because I'm going to take a lot of damage from this, like, triple team here, but it's a 1v1 for this chest. And I don't want to step in that, but we did anyway. It's fine. I got my cleric robe in 1 second, but hey, look, I killed the enemy before I even needed it. Go ahead and loot up, and let's run to this boss, and then this boss in the corner, and we're up to the next floor. So with that said, I can go ahead and burn boots. And like I said, you can keep it on Wanderlust if you just want to solely rely on cabbage soup. But I found that times when I'm pulling really, really aggressively that my HP gets really low. And just having rejuvenating sprint on my boots allows me to just clear faster. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm healed. I'm healed enough before I go into the boss room. Always try to be fully healed before you engage the boss. And this one is a big game of dodge. Try not to get hit by any of his attacks. But hey, our build makes it super simple. Allows us to just dance through his attacks. There we go. Just going to puddle him. So dodge that. Attack, dodge, dodge, and dodge into puddle, into death curse, into laser. He's going to do explosion, run close. Now he will shoot a line attack at me, so I'm just going to walk. Oh, I actually got hit by that. That's when we rejuvenating sprint and make up for that mistake that we just had. Now I was caught channeling in that, so I got hit again. So I'm making mistakes, and that's okay. You'll notice that when you make a few mistakes, the boss isn't going to kill you. I still have cleric robe in case I get stuck in something, and I could even tank that hit too, and I'm on fire, but it's fine. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to loot the chest and get that last boss, because that boss could be a legendary chest. This is 39,000 in the bags. Now, I'm looking at my carry weight. It's 50%. If it gets really high, I can switch to the carry weight passive on my boots. And what that will do is let me carry just a bit more loot before I leave. Right now, I'm worth 178,000 silver, which is not bad for 18 minutes. With a set, my build is worth 30,000 silver. Okay, so if I make it home with this, I can buy this set 5 times over. And yes, I'm aware I'm taking a lot of hits. Let's get this treasure. I just want the treasure real quick. And yoink, that's another couple thousand. Try to run into the boss room and reset these dudes. It might be doable. There we go. So we're going to heal up and then we'll fight this next boss here. Just letting our cabbage soup do its duty. And again, next boss, we're going to worm our way, slowly walking our way towards the chest because I want to loot this chest as soon as the boss dies. I also check the boss's corpse for an item drop because the bosses tend to drop a lot of items. You know, they tend to drop stuff. So you kind of want to make sure that you check them. I think I hit my laser there. It's fine if I didn't. These bosses die. This is the easiest build ever to clear corrupted dungeons. And checking his corpse, nothing. That is a purple chest. That's why we don't skip it. It is a tome chest, though. We should have skipped it. Yikers. Oh, he did drop an item. Look at that. I didn't check hard enough. It was just a rune. We're going to go to the next dungeon. This is dungeon number 3, and we are worth 179,000 plus 30,000. So if that's a lot of silver to you, you can just leave. You don't have to keep going. Boss there, and boss there. So it's the exact same layout as before. So we're going to take the same path as before. Because why wouldn't we? You can also just kind of speedrun the bosses because they're worth more of the corrupted dungeon points. But it does give you less. The problem I have with that strategy is that the less mobs you clear, the harder it is to break crystals. Okay, breaking crystals is a very valid strategy, which is fundamental for not getting ganked and losing all your loot when you're 3 to 4 dungeons deep. Go ahead and shield these dudes, hit them with the laser beam, throw a puddle while we still have our shield on, because when you have that shield, all your spell casts will deal extra damage. But if you override it, like if I puddle after the shield is gone, then that new puddle will deal less damage, unfortunately. And all the curse stacks will also deal less damage. And I'm going to take that big explosion. That's fine. That's what the cabbage soup is for. The cabbage soup is just the biggest thing you can get. Don't try to be cheap and use a dangle mouth, okay? You're going to regret it whenever you're running from a ganker and you don't heal up fast enough before they engage you. I'm telling you. Don't skimp on your food. Get the cabbage soup. It is fundamental. Alright, that's a triple enemy here. And now this one likes to, he likes to grab. So I'm just kind of dancing around, making sure. Oh no, that mob reset. You see that mob on the left side of my screen? He was about to die and he reset. I went just a little too far. We're going to kill him. We're not going to let him live because he can mess things up later. We want a nice little pathway to run away from him, from invading players. There we go. Okay, got him. This guy's going to take... I'll poison him. Why not? We'll laser beam him too. You can also laser beam before the poison, so the poison deals more damage. But it's... I mean, they have such little health. Like, most of the time when I'm doing this, I'm just doing it in brainless mode. Let's get these bats and then explode them. There we go. I could have popped myself that direction to be a little more time efficient, but who cares? You know, you don't have to be like speedrunning top master. Oh man, I beat this dungeon in 5 minutes, 50 seconds. You know, you can just play this casually. You don't have to fret or stress or worry. This is why this is the best freaking corrupted dungeon build, is because it's brain dead easy to play. It's look at it, I'm being hit by traps, but my health just comes right back. And yeah, you could power this build up, like I said. You could get a crypt candle if you want, and beef stew and all that expensive stuff. And guess what? You're gonna clear your because your item power is limited. You're not really getting a lot from the damage steroids, so you might as well just play it simple, play it cheap, and you know, saving 15 to 20 seconds may seem like a lot. But when you're only doing 4 dungeons, you're maybe saving yourself 1 minute of time. But if you die with that expensive set on, you've lost possibly 30 minutes to an hour's worth of silver, depending on how much silver you can farm per hour. And that's the way I see it. Activate poison, hit him with the death curse, hit him with the laser beam. We actually lasered a little earlier because the laser... No, never mind. The laser only armor shreds them for a short period of time. So you want to make sure that their armor shredded when that curse explosion goes off. Curse from the distance here. And the reason I play super defensive and not just tank all of these abilities is because if I get invaded, then I have to run out of this room to get out of combat. And I know it doesn't happen anymore, but it used to happen in the early days of corrupted dungeons. Sometimes your invader could spawn in the same or in the next room. So the invader could have spawned right here, and then I'm in this boss room, and I have to run towards him to heal. And then he realizes that I was fighting the boss and I'm low HP, and then I'm just immediately dead. I've had people spawn on top of me before in the old days. I think they fixed this. I'm pretty sure it's in the patch notes from a long time ago that they fixed that problem because it was super annoying to deal with. But when this stuff first came out, like, it's just an old habit that I'm keeping forever, okay? It's just, you know, old muscle memory. Yeah. So... But you never know when the game will bug out and do it again. So it's better safe than sorry, I suppose. I'm grabbing this chest. Sometimes these have the tier 6 treasures, which are worth 20,000 silver. Very good stuff. So that's why I always bust those chests open. They're always pretty good, pretty juicy. Also, if you're really scared of death, eat all your tomes of insight before the invader like finds you, I guess. because, well, you know, that way they can't have them. You know, you gotta... There we go. We unlocked the boss. We're no longer... Let's switch to Wanderlust. Let's just be a little Wanderlusty boy for a bit. I hate that the bats slow you down, though. That's kind of annoying. But other than that, we got an explodey bat, just like the last map, because it's the same map. Uh-oh, we got a grab guy. He's gonna grab us. This is another reason why I prefer to have the shoes that heal you when you run away. I'm gonna actually kill the bat right here, so I can exit combat and heal a bit. Because I have to avoid this 3-stack, and I need full health for that. So there we go, we got our full health. This guy's slowing us down, though, and he's going to armor and shred us. I walked into that. I walked out of it, and then I walked into it. Okay, we're going to de-aggro the 3 homies here. The 3 musketeer bros. Death curse him. He's got 4 stacks, or he will, at least. There we go with his 4th stack. Hang out near the chest. You know, we're such an anime protagonist, we can just have our backs turned to the villain there. And just take his treasure as he knows he's about to explode and die. Let's go ahead and Wanderlust to that boss now. Let's go. Wanderlust isn't as good as it used to be, but hey, it's alright. You know, it's going to get us to that boss pretty quick. A little quicker than just normally running. Another explodey bat there we can use to propel ourselves in a direction of our choosing. And here we go. We've made it to the boss. Now, again, I really prefer rejuvenating sprint, but we'll do it without it. We'll fight him without. Nothing stands in my way. Walk under his legs like a cool guy. And when he does the next swipe, walk under his legs again. Or to the side. It's whatever you prefer, man. When he roars, he does the 5 slams, which leave burning ground in a line. And there we go. Then he does an explosion when you reach a certain percentage of health. So you step away from the first explosion, and then you step inside the second and third explosions. He'll throw out a homing orb, and then he'll do a dash attack, and that resets his that resets the fight. He'll do this little grab chain thing, and then he'll go back to the big large swings again. And we have him pretty much defeated at this point, so we can just tank all his hits if we wanted, though. Not really suggested. Another purple chest. Let's go, purple chest. 78,982. Not bad. So now we have 286,000. And how much time do we have left on our food buff? 4 minutes. That's not going to cut it, but we have one more boss to kill. So after this, we're going to get home and sell the loot. Sell or stash the loot, whatever you want to do. Now that's a chest. I've got to get it, but my wanderlust is ticking. There's another chest up there too. Let's get it. And you can also just laser the chest open if you want to use that cooldown. It's an instant open. I like the puddles, though. I like to make the chests suffer and decay and rot. But it's up to you. We're up to 288,000, and it's been 28 minutes as of this recording. We're going to get back to town after this boss. Laser him before that explosion happens. There we go. Poison him. Dodging his attacks. He's sitting in the puddle. Most other builds can't deal this much damage while dodging attacks. And, of course, the Death Curse explosion is such a massive damage spike, and we don't have to channel it. Well, except for the first few seconds, I guess. It's just great. This build is just amazing for easy mode farming. I would have made so much more silver, too, if... that's another tome chest, of course. I always get these damn tome chests. Now, we're going to go to surface, and we're gonna teleport home. We have 300,000 and our gear's worth 30k. So, the way I do corrupted dungeons is I go from Caerleon. I don't go from the black zone. And the reason why is I can look at the gank counter here. We got 1 ganker, so let's push R, just teleport home. Our teleport home is super cheap. It's only 6,000 silver. Okay, so essentially we made 399,000 silver, if you don't count the taxes, in 30 minutes, without premium, and with a cheap set. So, it's just that easy, guys. It's such a good build. If you skip the intro to the video, that's when I showed off the build. Super duper cheap. And if you want to repair this build, hey, look, it's 1,000 silver. So it is cheap to repair. It's cheap to buy. It clears super fast. It's also good for PvP, and it's good for running away in PvP. So I don't know what else to say, but give this build a try. Now, I will mention that there is a slightly better version of this build, more geared towards PvP, in my members-only section. I don't sponsor my videos. I don't try to shill you stupid products or VPNs or crappy, you know, games. I don't shill that kind of stuff on my channel. But what I do have is it's called YouTube channel membership. It's $5 a month. Right below this video, kind of on the left side, there's a join button you can click. It's like subscribing on Twitch, but it's on YouTube instead. It's $5 a month. You get access to private, more personal videos, and in one of those videos is a slightly better version of this build, with even more detailed explanations than this. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Swole Benji. As always, be a bro and stay swole. This is the best corrupted dungeon build in 2023 for Albion Online. On the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. I read every comment, so feel free to leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. And I have a Discord if you think you're, you know, cool enough to join it. There is a questionnaire you gotta pass, though. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Mwah.